channel How to Pronounce. In this video, we are going to pronounce a new word. Let's get started.
Okay.
Hackett. Hackett. Hackett.
I'm receiving mixed signals, but what I'm getting is Heket is not wrong. So, I'm gonna say I'm pronouncing it right still. Feel free to correct me if you know better. Hello Internet, and welcome back to another episode of Pokémon Red and Blue and Yellow and Stadium, but more specifically Pokémon Blue. In the last episode, we got our starter Pokemon, Heket the Bulbasaur, and headed all the way out here to Viridian City. I say all the way out here as if it was a really long trip, but we actually went back and forth a couple times, so it's really not that long a trip. This time, we're going to start exploring the areas around Viridian City, now that we've delivered Oak's parcel and got ourselves the Pokédex, and seen what we can do about starting to fill that in a little bit. First things first, the Pokémart. We came in here before to pick up the parcel, but we couldn't actually buy anything. If we talk to him now, we can buy Pokeballs, Antidotes, Paralyze Heals, and Burn Heals. Pokeballs are the box standard Pokeball. I don't recommend actually buying any of these yet. Antidotes heal the poison status condition from a Pokemon. Paralyze Heals heal the paralysis condition from a Pokemon, and Burn Heals heal the burn condition from a Pokemon. We'll go over why I don't personally recommend buying Pokeballs yet in a little bit. It's something I didn't know about until writing my notes, and it's something I know you probably don't know about. Viridian City, the eternally green paradise. Eternally green unless you're playing on the Nintendo 3DS or the original Game Boy. Those Pokeballs at your waist. You have Pokemon! It's great that you can carry and use Pokemon anytime, anywhere. True. We head north now. And not directly into that sign. When I go shop in Pewter City, I have to take the winding trail in Viridian Forest. True.
I've had my coffee now and I feel great. Sure, you can go through. Are you in a hurry?
Not particularly.
I see you're using a Pokédex. When you catch a Pokémon, Pokédex is automatically updated. What? Don't you know how to catch Pokémon? I'll show you how to then.
Wild Weedle appeared. Old man used Pokeball. And he successfully caught a Weedle.
First you need to weaken the target Pokemon. Unless you're just jacked like me. That guy was so scared I didn't even need to weaken him.
In Pokemon Yellow version, he fails to catch the Pokemon. This is both to, I think, fix a glitch later on in the game, but also just so he can tell you can buy them at the Pokemart. There's a hidden item in this tree. It's supposed to be next to the tree, but they just didn't put it in the right spot. But yeah, with that, that's everything in Viridian City right now. Kind of. Although, there is one more thing. There's this building over here that we just sort of saw the very edge of. So let's head in there.
The gym's doors are locked.
And it forces you to jump down. I don't know why I assumed the old man was the one saying that, but I'm gonna pretend it was him.
This Pokemon gym is always closed. I wonder who the leader is.
Viridian City Pokemon Gym doesn't say who the leader is, but that is what that building is. We'll be coming back for that later. There's not much we can do there now. But there is one thing we can do. Heading down here, now that we have access to Pokeballs, you could potentially catch a Pokemon down here. Sorry for that cut, just had to pull something up real quick. Since we can catch Pokemon now, I think now would be an appropriate time to start going over the Pokemon that can appear on Route 1, and in the meantime, I'll just use this to train up Bulbasaur. So, here we go. Pidgey is bad. Rattata! Okay, no, back to Pidgey. Pidgey is, in my eyes, a fantastic example of how certain Pokemon play completely differently in Generation 1 compared to how they are in future games. Just not a fantastic example in a positive way. Before evolving, Pidgey only learns weak normal-type moves, and none of the moves it can learn through level up are higher than 40 base power. As a result, if you want to try and get any meaningful KOs using Pidgey, your best bet is just to spam Sand Attack and hope the opponent keeps missing, and then spam Quick Attack for the guarantee of moving first. If you wait one more level to evolve it, it does get Whirlwind one level earlier, but in a game without entry hazards, Whirlwind is sort of a nothing move in most situations, unless you want to force an opponent to use a Pokemon that Pidgey might stand slightly more of a chance against? Yeah, I'm sorry, but there's just not a lot of good to be said about Pidgey in this generation. Rattata is a much better Pokemon if you're looking to use one from Route 1. Not only does Rattata learn Hyper Fang, an 80 power normal type move at the extremely early level of 14, but it's fast enough to outspeed most threats it could possibly face in the early game. Now, unfortunately, the main draw of Rattata and its evolution won't be available until a whopping level 41 after evolution, but at least in the early game, Rattata can easily tear through weaker opponents using Hyper Fang. And hey, to make it even better, if you transfer it to Generation 2, it can learn Screech, which is an objectively better Tail Whip. Rattata probably won't hold up too well throughout the entire adventure, but at least through the first few major boss fights, there are definitely much worse choices for normal types. So up against that first Pidgey I fought, I ended up encountering a glitch, I believe. I can never remember if Tackle is actually 100 accuracy in this game. It might be 90 because it just sort of shifts randomly between the generations what Tackle's accuracy is, but if it is 100% accuracy, I encountered the 1 in 256 glitch, where every single move in the game, regardless of whether it's supposed to have 100% accuracy, has a 1 in 256 chance of missing. This is because the game pulls for a number between 1 and 255, and if the number is less than 255, or greater than if it's less than 255, the move misses, but 255 is not greater than 255, so yeah. It's just an oversight that unfortunately made it into the game. It's very frustrating when a move that's supposed to be 100% accurate misses, but 99.6% of the time they won't miss, so at least it's got that going for it. Still can't really catch anything, but if we head out here, and up here, this is where the item is supposed to be, I believe. This is where you're supposed to be able to get that potion, but unfortunately, they put it in the wrong spot, so we can just grab it while we're in Viridian City, and there's no reason to go around that way. But heading out here, welcome to Route 22. It's very weirdly placed, but that's where we are. There's some tall grass here, which means there's even more new Pokemon to find. Before we start going over these ones, I just want to say that while the sidebar in the video will have more Pokemon because of the Pokemon that can appear in yellow, I'm only going to be going over for bios for Pokemon as they become available in Red and Blue. As a result, no offense to Mankey, but its bio is going to be saved for later. Anyway, starting off, Spearow is sort of just an objectively more powerful Pidgey. It's a fast physical attacker, and while it's definitely going to be spending quite a while with Peck and Theory Attack as its only real attacking moves, with the potential for a couple more by transferring to Generation 2, it does get bragging rights for being the only early game flying type in Generation 1 to be able to deal flying type damage at all before level 31. There's not much to say about it here. It becomes much stronger once it evolves, but by that point, there will be better options for flying-type Pokemon open to you. Nidoran Male is our first example of a Pokemon becoming much more useful between Pokemon Red and Blue and Pokemon Yellow. It learns Poison Sting earlier in Pokemon Red and Blue, a 15 base power Poison-type move with a chance to poison. While in Pokemon Yellow, it gets much earlier access to Double Kick, a 30 power Fighting-type move that always hits 2 times, effectively doubling the move's power to 60. This is especially useful because, spoiler alert, our first major boss fight is going to be a user of Rock-type Pokemon. In Pokemon Yellow, Nidoran is an easy answer to Rock types. In Pokemon Red and Blue, I'd still say it's worth catching, but you aren't going to be getting much use out of it before it evolves. And Nidoran Female is the more defensive variety of Nidoran. While there is some merit to this, I don't think there's enough difference between the two genders of Nidoran to differentiate them before they evolve. It's all just a matter of whether you're going to want a bulkier Pokemon or a Pokemon that hits harder later on when they evolve. With those done, I'll go ahead and cut ahead to when I'm done with this battle. I just sort of want to get Bulbasaur as much experience as possible right now. We're up to level 9, I'm pretty happy with that. Gonna go ahead and heal up before we head further into the route, though. Alright, back to Route 22. Is there a hidden item up here? There looks like there should be, but there is not. I hate when they do that. What's the point of this? There's nothing up there. Heading forward. Hey, Winter! You're going to the Pokemon League? Forget it! You probably don't have any badges. The guard won't let you through. By the way, did your Pokemon get any stronger? Yet another battle against Aiden. He's going to lead with Pidgey. Level 9, normal flying type, knowing the moves Gust and Sand Attack, both of which are normal type moves that have their type changed in the next generation. That Sand Attack is going to be really annoying when we only have one Pokemon. But that's fine. I'm more worried about his starter, honestly. His Pidgey is his highest level Pokemon, and I'm honestly not super confident that I'll be able to take it out. You can't buy potions yet, so we have the one from Route 1, and I don't really want to use it. Okay, Sand Attack missed, that's good. Do that a few more times. Okay, well, preferably not hitting, but that's fine. And that might knock out. Not quite, but yeah, we lost. Alright. I'm just gonna keep throwing myself at this battle until I win, so I'll cut ahead to when I take out Pidgey. Did even worse that time. Oh my god, I beat Pidgey. Okay. Charmander is level 8, Fire type, knowing the moves Scratch and Growl. Okay. I'm using a potion on Hiket right away. We have 2 of them. I forgot about the hidden one. Our accuracy is not doing too hot, so this is gonna be tricky. Especially because Charmander's critical hit rate is pretty good. I'm gonna use Leech Seed right away, just to try and gradually get some more health back each turn. There we go. Apparently it has 16 HP, if that was 1/16 of its health. Alright, that's fine. We're gonna be missing with Tackle a lot. I fully expect to just end up using both potions in this fight, because doing this with one Pokemon is not easy, especially when your Pokemon is only level 9. But I swear there's a reason for me trying to do this with only one Pokemon. It's a war of attrition, but it'll be worth it. Okay. There's not much commentary to give. This fight is very much just I'm sitting here and hoping it presses the growl button. But this is an opportunity to talk about something I like about this game that I think is sort of underrated. Since I'm playing with the Super Game Boy, if I sort of zoom out the screen a little bit here, this border is a custom border for the Super Game Boy. Pokémon Red and Blue were developed to be games that were just in black and white. However, around the midpoint of development, the Super Game Boy was actually being made, and of course they ended up wanting to use it. As a result, Pokémon were given colors that they otherwise wouldn't have had. Charmander probably wouldn't be orange if the Super Game Boy wasn't being developed at the same time as Pokémon. And these borders wouldn't be either. The sprites on these borders honestly look better than the sprites in-game, but we beat Charmander. Good critical hit, good job. Level 10. Nice. And we defeated Aiden. Aw, you just lucked out! I heard Pokemon League has many tough trainers. I have to figure out how to get past them. You should quit dawdling and get a move on. And of course, in another world, Red is battling Blue here. Hey, Red! You're going to Pokemon League? Forget it, you probably don't have any badges. The guard won't let you through. By the way, did your Pokemon get any stronger? Blue wants to fight, and leads with Spearow at level 9, normal flying type, knowing the moves Peck, Growl, and Leer. This thing can lower your attack and your defense. If you didn't start with Pikachu, you'd have a reason to be scared. But you do start with Pikachu, so that was a critical hit. Sorry, Spearow, but you aren't the anime version of you. And of course, Eevee, level 8, normal type, knowing the moves Tackle, Tail Whip, and Sand Attack. I'm just gonna use Thunder Wave right away. Just make sure it's paralyzed, it's slower, and it has a chance not to attack. It's gonna miss with Sand Attack, thank God. Sand Attack can get really annoying, as you saw from the 3 attempts it took for me to beat Aiden on the first try. On the third try, I guess, saying that is sort of... It implies that it was not on the first try, but we'll pretend it was on the first try for the sake of my dignity. With that is Blue taken care of. Much easier than taking care of Aiden. Ah, you just lucked out! I heard Pokemon League has many tough trainers. I have to figure out how to get past them. You should quit dawdling and get a move on. Maybe I will. Wish I got theme song whenever he walked away from an area. Alright. We're just gonna continue on ahead and ignore whatever it was Aiden said. I don't know, something about not being able to move on past this point. Who cares? We totally can. We beat him with only a Bulbasaur. This is easy. Only truly skilled trainers are allowed through. You don't have the Boulder Badge yet. The rules are rules. I can't let you pass. This is a scam. Alright. Well, I guess Aiden was right. There's nothing we can do there. We aren't truly skilled. We'll show them. That does give us a goal, though. We know what we have to do next. We have to head to get our Boulder Badge so we can get past that guy and say, "Told you so!" But first, I want to head back to Pallet Town. And we're gonna head right to Professor Oak's lab. You can't get detailed data on Pokémon by just seeing them. You must catch them. Use these to capture wild Pokémon. Winter got 5 Pokeballs. When a wild Pokémon appears, it's fair game. Just throw a Pokeball to catch it, and What? This won't always work, though. What the... The formatting on this text was wrong. A healthy Pokemon could escape. You have to be lucky. That's how you know this is remote text. That's the only time I've ever seen formatting be wrong in this game, without, like, the use of glitches or arbitrary code execution. Oh my god. Okay, so, only if you come back here after defeating Blue with only Bulbasaur, without having any Pokeballs in your inventory, and without having captured any Pokemon at all, Professor Oak will give you 5 Pokeballs. It's weirdly specific what you need to do to get the 5 free Pokeballs in this game that just kind of become customary in every game after this. I want to know what he was trying to say there, because the formatting of the text made it so I couldn't see it. That's my first time ever actually seeing that dialogue. So, it's almost fixed in Pokemon Yellow, but they forgot a Y in the word try. With all that done, we defeated Blue, we saw a lot of new Pokemon, and by the way, when I said I'm going to be completing the Pokedex, that does mean catching them. I'm going to be catching most of the Pokemon that I don't plan to use on my team off-screen. I think that's just the best way to really go about it without bloating the series too much. Obviously, while I'm going over bios, if I see a Pokemon I don't have, I'll try to catch it, but overall, I think it's just easier to catch them off-screen. Next time, we're going to be heading onward towards our first gym in order to get through that gate just to be petty to that one guard who said I'm not a truly skilled trainer. See you guys then.